I don't think he's seen it since 1969. It hasn't been, the first time he was on a racetrack since 1969 was last fall at Lime Rock and then at Watkins Glen, where those were the first two races on that event. It hadn't been a racetrack since it was wrecked at St. Jovite when George got and started the pileup.
Oh yeah, oh, is that, yeah.
Great.
Let me look it over. Yeah, we should have won the championship. Of course, you got the wrong tires on there.
Right, right.
Yeah, it was one that was all tore up down, sitting in the backyard.
In the field, yeah. And Rich totally restored it.
Yeah.
And then he sold it to a gentleman in California, and he sold it to another guy, but it never went anywhere. It just stayed in collections that were just looked at. This is the 1969 Boss Mustang that Parnelli raced in the first race a Boss ever raced. And Parnelli is probably the best all-around driver that ever raced in the United States. Racing Indy cars to off-road trucks to Trans Am to dirt track cars. I mean, there is nothing that he can't race and win. And as far as I'm concerned, he is the man.
Well, of course, winning Indianapolis in 1963 was by my height of my career, and probably the most important race for me. But it's nice to be a Trans Am winner as well, you know. And we had a lot of fun with different cars. I've been fortunate to drive a lot, all kinds of sports cars. I guess I'm going to drive it for the pace lap.
Yeah, yep.
That brings back memories.
What's that door?
Yeah, it feels like kind of like putting an old glove on.
This pulls really well on the top end, but the 70 probably had more bottom end.
Yeah, that was one problem we had with the 69 was not having enough torque.
Right.
Had a lot of horsepower at the top end.
Yep.
But the torque was terrible.
This is awesome. Back when I was 16 years old and would have thought that this day might have happened, I would have never believed it, to be at Indianapolis with Parnelli Jones and own the car that he drove for the first time ever as a boss in a race. I mean, you can't make something like that up. If you did, people wouldn't believe you probably.
Oh, it brings back a lot of memories just when I see the car. I don't have to touch it. When I see it, it just makes me light up. Yeah, it's really amazing. These Trans Am series was so popular because all the manufacturers were involved, with Ford and Chevrolet and Chrysler and Javelin and all that. Win on Sunday and sell on Monday type of thing. It was great to be part of it. I know most of the racing we had a lot of pressure on us to beat the competition. And it's just nice to see that these gentlemen have stored these cars and kept them in shape like this. It's just nice to see them. I mean, it brings you a lot of memory back.
Again, you would never believe that you could have done something like this years ago. So to be fortunate enough to be able to do this and buy the car and meet Parnelli and be able to run the car in the historic Trans Am series. There's no other vintage racing like that series. The cars are as they were raced back in the day. We make everybody keep them that way, and they're definitely the fan favorite of vintage racing.